Hi, and welcome to our first show of the fall season. I'm Nancy Guppy, and we are kicking things off at Rick Leonard Gallery in Mount Vernon with a terrific exhibit titled Peter Malarkey Social Landscapes. More on Peter right after I tease the show. Mohi celebrates Almost Live. Visual art by Rock and Roll Roadies.
Attached with each roadie is all these stories and objects that go along with who they are and the bands that they work with.
Remembering Charles R. Cross. And music from Once Around the Sun.
And I know I can't just pack my bags and come to see you. It feels like a dream.
Peter Malarkey is a visual artist who often paints in the plein air style, which means painting on location. And Social Landscapes, his first show of paintings in 12 years, is a knockout.
I call this my second painting career. I painted hard in my 30s and 40s and showed hard and worked hard. And I had two young ones, two kids, and something just had to give. So the painting gave very happily. And I kept on painting in the 20 years since then. I kept on producing paintings, but not at a rate you could show or get a gallery involved. I got invited to be in this gallery, and about a year and a half ago we agreed to a show. And so I knew if nothing else, here was a chance to put out a single solo person show. And I had a room to work on it in where I could, see it all at once rather than piecemeal. So try to really pull it all together. I would call my painting style broadly representational or impressionistic. I think about Impressionism not as the 19th century phenomenon of Impressionism a la Monet, but I think of Impressionism as a mode of seeing where you're trying to pick up the way the eye blurs, the way light lands on things. And that's a very old visual motivation that goes back as far back as you really want to look at paint. Velázquez is maybe the first agreed progenitor of an impressionistic view. So that's where I'd like to keep going, is a loosely rendered depiction of the world. You ask about materials, and I've been around oil paint now 40 years, and people get very esoteric about oil paint. It's got a lot of whispers and mysteries about secrets of the old masters and things like that. And the longer I'm around it, the more I just enjoy treating it as a worker's tool. And I'm very specific about what colors I use. There are about 15 that I pull from, but they're from different metal groups that I know the way they're going to respond. One set is in cadmium, one set is based in iron, one set is based in aluminum, and I know how they're going to behave. I like thinking about the behavior of all of that colored metallic powder suspended in a gallery of translucent oil, and the way those different particles actually interact. My work has changed in the last couple of decades because I've learned how to get myself out of the way of the scene. I've pushed enough paint around now that I can set it down, get it to behave, and then leave it alone, as opposed to keep fussing with it. That took many, many, many paintings to even know what that's supposed to look like. This show, for me, is showing me more about the way light behaves and the way paint can depict that. But it can't happen without really opening myself up to what I'm seeing. The whole peninsula has informed my eye and made it willing to paint raw things, including raw settlements. The housing we do, the roads we build, the clear cuts we make, the quarries we cut. They're the way we interact with the skin of the planet. We shape it to our vehicles, we shape it with our vehicles. It's changed my aesthetic. For representational painting to stay alive, it needs to actually have a raw edge, as opposed to a soothing edge that just keeps hearkening back to a previous aesthetic. I'd like the people who come to the gallery to have a shared experience with the painter. I believe that a lot of artwork gets in between the artist and the audience. And I really want people to say, hey, guess what? I'm sharing the same culture as this person, no matter how we define it. It's an optical retinal culture of pigment and light, and I'm sharing it with the artist. That would be a complete experience for me.
Peter Malarkey Social Landscapes runs now through September 30th. Hours and location are at rickleonardgallery.com. Almost Live, the sketch comedy show that aired on King TV from 1984 to 1999, is being memorialized at MOHI, the Museum of History and Industry, with an installation called Almost Live, Almost an Exhibit. Featuring props, costumes, and lots of video clips, the exhibit is an entertaining and interesting look at a particular time in Seattle's history. I was a writer and performer on the show for much of its 15-year run, and one of the highlights of the job was working with fellow cast member Tracy Conway. So here is one of our favorite sketches called New Boyfriend.
Hey, Pam!
Hi, how are you? It's good to see you. You look great.
You look so cute.
Well, here he is.
So this is Alan.
Okay, before you say anything at all, I mean, his hair is going to be totally different. This is way too 70s.
Yeah.
I mean, I want it cut away from his face. And maybe a little longer in the back, you think?
It's nice, though.
And of course, new frames. I mean, something that doesn't make him look like such a turtle. Huh. But not too John Lennon-y.
No, that wouldn't fit his face at all.
No, round. No. Okay, clothes.
Well, obviously not these.
I'm thinking Gap.
Uh-huh.
White t-shirt or a white Oxford. A straight leg jeans, black, of course. I mean, I know it's not original, but I think it'll give me a foundation to build on.
That makes perfect sense.
Okay, shoes. Oh, God, don't look at the shoes.
Boy, those are really bad.
Well, his old girlfriend worked at Mervyn's.
Say no more.
Anyway, I think I'm going to bring in some black loafers. It's clean and simple.
What about Doc Martens?
Boots or low cuts?
Definitely low cuts.
Good suggestion. I like it. I'll think about it. Okay, moving on to accessories. Maybe a pierced ear.
But not a stud. I mean, no stone or
Oh, no. A
diamond.
hoop, like a gold hoop.
Perfect. Statement without making a statement.
Exactly. Okay, as far as facial hair, I don't know. I'm not sure. I mean, I like it, but it may not fit. Like maybe sideburns or the mustache going into the beard.
That's kind of hard. Although, you know, that would take care of that weak chin area. But, you know, you don't have to decide right away.
You're right. You're absolutely right, I don't. So, anyway, I guess that's about it.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Okay. Well, it is nice to meet you, Alan.
Isn't that great? Well, should we sit down?
Yeah. So what have you been up to, Miss?
Crazy.
Almost Live, Almost an Exhibit runs now through February 23rd, 2025. More information is at mohi.org. Our band this week is the brother-sister duo Once Around the Sun, and here they are performing their original song, Far Away.
I'm far, far away. I'm far, far away. Distant story, a living memory. Remind me of the time I tried to speak. Careless future, adventurous past. I'm far, far away. I'm far, far away. My father told me this life is too short. My mother said this pain will last. Careless future, adventurous past. I'm far, far away. I'm far, far away. And I know I can't just pack my bags and come to see you. It feels like a dream, and people say this world is small, but not for me. 'Cause you're far. I'm far, far away. I'm far, far away. I'm far, far away.
Thank you. Keep up with Once Around the Sun on Facebook. Current Currently showing at Mini Mart City Park in Georgetown is The Golden Cage, Trapped at Work, a group exhibit which, as you are about to see, has a fascinating premise.
I've been on the road as a tour manager for 36 years, and I spend a lot of my time sitting at my desk waiting for the phone to ring or for another email to come in. So I've always found some other little craft or kept sketchbooks to keep my time. This is a kind of a culmination of everything that all of us have done on the road together as a touring team.
As we were trapped at work, I always called it our golden cage because we would be stuck at a Ritz-Carlton and we just hang out and listen to music and draw and make art to pass the time.
I knew these guys as friends and artists way before we were tour managers together. I love the fact that he did the same thing I did, made something out of something no matter where you were. You always found the boxes or the pieces and cobbled them together. And probably since I met him when I was 18, his artistic sensibility and his style and everything he did, I loved. I thought it was great. Graphically, you were cool and you did great stuff, and then you were doing records.
You added to records too. You did the graphics on that first Brad record.
He gave me my first professional job on his Brad record.
He did the disc design.
Kerry and I worked together on the road with Neil Young for years and years together. Regan and I did the same thing. Literally, I was probably the torture master at most times because as tour manager, I always said, we gotta hang in my room, we gotta be here, we always do. There's probably times when people could have gone and enjoyed themselves or had meals, but I made them draw pictures and hang out with me.
I started filming a lot of stuff with my phone and getting into motion graphics, and I spent a lot of my time doing that on the road.
Unplug that.
I ended up getting this little corridor in my area of the gallery here. So the piece that will show, and it's something that both of the guys reacted to, and it was a little advertisement I made for the light rail here in Seattle.
I love the piece.
So this was an uncommissioned piece. Sound Transit didn't call you.
That's right.
But they will.
This is just a moment of inspiration for me. I was picking up my kid who had come from SeaTac, and we wanted to see what it was like to take the light rail from the airport, and it was spooky. I had a kind of a not scary experience, but it was kind of Escape from New York vibe.
Kevin Schuss is the fourth member of this group that's not with us today. He's on tour with Pearl Jam at the moment. But Kevin does a lot of stencils, and he does the drum heads that you'd see up on the wall and whatnot. He was with Alice in Chains. He's worked with Soundgarden, Temple of the Dog. He's been with Pearl Jam for 30 years.
We booked this exhibit over a year ago, so it's a culmination of a year of focus and work getting all this stuff together.
It's a pretty phenomenal opportunity for us.
It has, and you know, I don't know if you guys think the same thing, but it was a year ago. It was like, oh, we have a year, don't worry about it. And I don't know what's happened now, but this last week has been kind of whirlwind. And also, I've been on the road, and the band that I work with just played here in Seattle this week. So we were fortunate enough to do a pre-show for the folks in Metallica this weekend. And it was the first time we were gonna let anybody see what this was, and I think we were all pretty nervous about it. And I think they got the vibe. They understood what it was. You know, my stuff, as you might see, isn't technically amazing, but it's the idea of where I am when I do it and how I do it. And if you were wondering where anybody's toilet paper went during the pandemic, I took all the rolls and hoarded them. I disassemble, you know, coat hangers in my hotel rooms and make mobiles. And I love music. I would have loved to have been in a band or, you know, musician, but I couldn't carry a tune in a bucket. But I was good at organizing things and getting people places. And I'm also good at getting them there in a good mood and not letting them see the sweat and the stress.
I was doing a lot of sketching and drawing people and photographs I've seen, and just practicing in my sketchbook drawing faces and portraits mainly. And I went and saw the Basquiat show in LA a kind of inspired by that. You know, he used a lot of oil pens in his work, and so I bought some oil pens and started working with them, and that just kind of fed into, oh, I think I'll do portraits of my friends for this show. And it just brought so much joy to the dark, dreary, rainy winter days here last winter, and that kind of creative inspiration just lasted for like 3 months doing these paintings. So that's how they came about.
I don't have a choice. I make these robots and these crazy things because I start thinking about them, then I start dreaming about them, and then I have these panic attacks that I'm going to try to make it and it's not going to be what I think it's going to be, and then I just have to sit down and do it. So I would drive myself nuts if I didn't just keep making stuff.
I would like to see it grow into something where there's a bunch of roadies and a bunch of roadie art and history, and because attached with each roadie is all these stories and objects that go along with who they are and the bands that they work with and their history, which to me, as you get older, the stories and the history is what really intrigue me and stay with me the most.
There's no stopping, it's my passion. So yeah, I'm gonna continue to do it, and I can't imagine life without it.
The Golden Cage Trapped at Work runs now through October 13th. And that's a wrap. Big heartfelt thanks to Rick Leonard Gallery for hosting us, and a reminder that Peter Malarkey's Social Landscapes runs now through September 30th. And we're going to leave you with a remembrance of Charles R. Cross, an iconic Seattleite and a renowned rock journalist and author who died suddenly of natural causes on August 9th. A father, a brother, an artist, and a friend to so many people, Charles made this world a more interesting place. He was loved deeply and will be missed always. So thanks so much for watching. Have a great week.
हम